So let's identify causes for the defeat, causes for such a horrendous performance by the U.S. soccer team. Is it just the players? Is it just the coach? Is it just Sunil Gulati? Is it the federation? Is it the whole structure of the U.S. soccer? And of course the answer is all of the above. It's a bit of players being not exceptionally good, which gave them a lot smaller margins for victory. It's having a horrible coach who's tactically inept and who's only saved by similarly inept coaches from opposing teams, like was the case in Panama, or versus Panama last week, a couple of days ago. Bruce Arena was totally outcoached by the Costa Rican head coach, which would lose the game. And the Panamanian coach, for some reason, came out with a completely different plan. So instead of holding back and absorbing the attack by the U.S., at least in the first 15 minutes, he decided to play a wide open style with a team that had no speed in the middle and got destroyed by speed in the middle. So that's on the Panamanian coach, Gomez Valilla, somebody who was famous for screwing up Colombia and Ecuador before that. Well, he's going to the World Cup. How's that for a screw up? But our point is that Arena, who came out of MLS, is really not a technically adept coach. Should I lift my shirt up? How about that? Is it better? Am I more, like, sexier? Anyway, so Arena came out as the best MLS coach as the best coach MLS could offer, at least according to Sunil Gulati and his master, Don Garber. And the problem is that the theory was pretty much destroyed by Bob Bradley. Bob Bradley lived off reputation, at least in America, as a competent coach. He was hired by Swansea City, which is an English Premier League team, whose owners are American, as a bright coach, as a hopeful change for the better. Well, the reality quickly hit Swansea owners that Bob Bradley was incompetent. Well, why did they hire Bob Bradley in the first place? That's not a Bob Bradley rant. Well, there could be one, but we'll wait for that later. The reality is that the owners were convinced by the U.S. media, which is their only source of knowledge about U.S. soccer, is that Americans are just as good as foreign players. American coaches are just as good as foreign coaches. And so they hired Bob Bradley in the same manner Sunil Gulati hired Bruce Arena. Except it proved to be a failure in both instances. Bob Bradley failed miserably at Swansea, and Bruce Arena failed miserably with the United States. Now, as we mentioned, Jürgen Klinsmann, there was this antipathy toward a foreign coach. So they had to hire American. Bruce Arena talked about needing to have an American coach because it was important to have American coach coaching American players. It is important because it shows the ineptitude of American coach coaching the American players. It's a disaster. What's the reaction to it? Well, Sunil Gulati and Bruce Arena don't think they've done anything wrong. What they should do now is go and play a whole bunch of European teams that are going to the World Cup and will need sparring partners. Now, there's a new Europa Leagues, but whatever. Every team's trying to figure out different style of position. And maybe US should go to France or should go to England or should go to Germany and see how they compete against teams, better teams in the world. And what's going to happen is they're going to get slammed, smackered. Now, Bruce Arena did once go to Germany in 2006, several months before the World Cup. And he played Germany several months before the World Cup. And US got destroyed. It was like 4-1 at the end because of the flukiest goal by Steve Cherundolo from like 70 yards away. But it could have been, 6-0, 7-0 Germany, accidentally by then coach, by Klinsmann. And that's the coach they hired. The coach who failed to come out of Group of Death in 2006. Coach that really didn't do much with the Galaxy internationally. And so why did he get appointed? Well, it's obviously part of the U.S. Soccer and Soccer United marketing mission to sell sizzle to America. And that's the problem. You sell sizzle, but you also have to deliver the steak. The propaganda emanating for years was that U.S. players were as good as foreign coaches. I mentioned it earlier. That Bruce Arena was a good coach. And Bruce Arena was the right hire for the United States. That's the media. The massive propaganda that goes out, streaks down, or, trickles down into the brain of every MLS owner. So every MLS owner was against Klinsmann. They were against him because he didn't like MLS. He subverted the value of their product. He undermined the value of it. They undermined their business. And so they had no choice. They had to put Arena. They had nobody else. They couldn't put, Patrick Vieira or, that guy, Gerardo Martino from Atlanta, who wasn't even hired then. They had to put an American coach. He had to be speaking American English so everyone could understand what he said. And Bruce Arena, to his credit, said a lot of nonsense and never got called upon it because the media, well, let's just talk about soccer media in this instance, is crap. They're not professional, they don't understand the game, and they're prone to praise everything that ever goes right as if deserving. What happened in reality was that U.S. got some lucky rolls of the ball. Not that they didn't play horribly, not that they play really well, but they won because they got a few nice rolls of the ball, and that's what happens in soccer. And yesterday, they didn't get the roll of the ball, and they played like crap. And they lost. And that's on Sunil Gulati, it's on Don Garber, it's on the SUM, or SUM, however you want to call it, Soccer United Marketing. It's an MLS owner. It's an every MLS owner who hated Clinton because Clinton, wait a minute, Clinton? Hey. Klinsmann. The MLS owner hated Klinsmann. This is a live recording, by the way. They hated Klinsmann because Klinsmann wasn't one of theirs. Now they see where they get one of theirs, huh? Hey, Merritt Paulson, good luck watching that World Cup out of your ass.